Ekiti Television, taking you further.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Midday News. I am Iroyin Ojokanri. The need for unity and compassion among Muslims, along with the values of sacrifice and obedience to Allah, were key highlights of sermons delivered at various Eid grounds in Ekiti to commemorate this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration. BSS reporter Adedayo Adeleye completes the story.
Eid al-Kabir, known among the Yoruba as Ileya Festival, is an annual Muslim celebration marking the climax of Hajj, the fifth pillar of Islam. The day symbolizes and commemorates Prophet Ibrahim's ultimate act of devotion and obedience to Almighty Allah. A visit to Eid prayer ground along Federal Polytechnic Road in Ekiti revealed that worshippers arrived as early as 8 in the morning to observe the 2 rakat prayers. The arrival of the president of the League of Imams and Alfans, Southwest, Edo and Delta States, Sheikh Jamiu Kuliri, at the Ado Central Eid prayer ground signaled the start of the prayer session. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. In his sermon, Sheikh Kuliri urged Muslims to embody love and compassion, following the example of Prophet Ibrahim. He emphasized that the celebration should not be solely about merriment, but also a time for reflection and renewed dedication to service of God and humanity. At the Ahmadiyya prayer ground, worshippers also observed the 2 rakat prayers. Malam Olomi Tohim encouraged wealthy Muslims to support the less privileged by providing food, drinks and other essentials. He stressed that national prosperity and development depended on unity, love and tolerance.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad is trying to tell us to sacrifice all our animalistic egoism, all type of stubbornness in our hearts, and we should sacrifice ourselves for our purpose, the main purpose of our creation, that is Allah Almighty, and for the purpose of humanity. So that sacrifice is what brings about this Eid al-Adha, to sacrifice ourselves for the way of Allah and humanity.
A key moment of the event was the slaughtering of a ram, symbolizing the significance of the day. Some worshippers, including the Secretary to Ekiti State Government, Professor Abibat Adubiaro, expressed gratitude to Allah for witnessing this year's Salah and encouraged Muslims to celebrate moderately.
Enjoy all Muslims soon. So don't use this occasion for whining and dining alone, but to emulate the good virtues of Prophet Ibrahim by having the strong faith in God and have the total submission to the will of Almighty Allah, and to continue praying for the peace in Ekiti State and in Nigeria.
Message to them is that they should pray for our government. They should pray for Ekiti State. You know, we have a lot of problems in the country now. As regards security, they need to pray for that for us, so that at the end of the day, this government, the people in government, they will have a successful tenure.
The symbolic day means that we give devotion.
With Muslim faithful on this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration, Governor Ebanje, in his goodwill message, described the celebration as a festival of sacrifice and joy for the faithful. The governor urged Muslims to imbibe the core lessons of Eid al-Kabir and called on them not to relent in supporting his administration and that of President Bola Tinubu with prayers. The Ekiti State government has given street traders at BC, Erekeson and other markets an ultimatum to relocate to Agric Olokwe market by June 23rd, warning that failure to comply will result in sanctions. The directive was issued by Governor Biodun Oyebanji during a meeting with market leaders and traders. BSS reporter Toba Babalola has the rest of the story.
Governor Oyebanji, who highlighted the importance of Ado as the capital of Ekiti State, said that the vision of the forefathers who fought for the state's creation was gradually becoming realizable, considering the significance of market traders to economic development of the state. He urged the constant market traders to align with the vision of his administration, adding that selling of goods on the roadsides was not healthy and safe for them. The governor said that a whopping sum of money had been spent to put the Agric Olokwe market to proper shape with the provision of necessary amenities as demanded by the traders.
As a government, we don't want to use force on those that brought us to office. And I'm happy and glad today that all of us have reached a consensus on the need for the traders to move to those new markets, and they have promised to move without force. So I'm so excited that we are able to reach this consensus. By the middle of this month, they will start to move to the market. We have built the market to their taste. We met with them. They told us what they wanted done in the market, and we have done it. We have provided water, toilet, security, warehouses, parking space, and everything they have scored. We have provided. If this one is done, it's going to encourage us to do more.
He unveiled government's plan to rehabilitate roads from Ojumoshe to Old Garage, First Baptist Church to Post Office area, Okenyimi to Mugbagba, Idolofin to St. Paul's, Junction, Odoado, while critical roundabouts and Fajuyi Park will be renovated for better outlooks. The area of Ado Obade Yemade Jugbe, who went down memory lane on plans to reshape Ado for a befitting status, urged the street traders to relocate to the appropriate market approved by government. Obade Jugbe said that necessary facilities had been put in place to make the market attractive and conducive for them to sell their goods.
I like the area by the bed.
The Commissioner for Trade, Investments and Cooperatives, Mrs. Tayo Adeola, explained that Governor Oyebanji had been able to revive the Agric Olokwe market after several efforts by successive governments. She noted that the present government had provided a warehouse in the market to safeguard their goods, with those registered to be allotted spaces.
Everything is ready. We've appealed to them and they've agreed that they will move. Come 23rd of June, everyone, we shouldn't have any street traders, and enforcement will begin on that day. Hopefully, no one will run foul of the law.
The President General of Market Traders, Chief Abibat Ogunjobi, and wife of the Ewi, Iyeshorun Abosede Ajejugbe, noted that Governor Oyebanji had transformed Ado Ekiti into a business hub, calling on street traders to abide by the directive.
Adẹ̀ ti mú sùúrù kò í tó. Èyí kì í gómìnà ṣe lẹ́nu ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn. Ṣé ni yẹ kí gbójúbà ẹ káre kó? Èyí kọ́ dá níbẹ̀ nìkan bá ní wípọ̀ ọ̀nà gbọ́. Òun ní yẹniyẹni ọlọ́wà ti yẹ ẹ́ dáadẹ́. Àyẹ ká yí padà bá ní.
Traders at the market, however, resolved to comply as soon as possible. Toba Babalola reporting.
The Ekiti State Commissioner for Local Government Affairs, Shifolonsho Labode, says the preparation of a well-articulated and creditable medium-term expedition framework (MTEF) at the local level is not optional but imperative. Olabode, who gave the advice at a day workshop on the preparation of the 2026-2028 MTEF organized for local government officials in the state held in Ado Ekiti, said credible MTEF will ensure that limited resources are channeled to the most pressing needs. The commissioner urged the participants to take advantage of the workshop, which would expose them to rudiments of using the National Chart of Accounts template. Earlier, the permanent secretary in the ministry, Mr. Babatunde Olaoye, said that the workshop represents another step in government collective commitment to strengthening fiscal discipline, enhancing budget credibility, and aligning the local government planning processes with national standards and international best practices in line with the fiscal responsibility law.
And high budgeting process at local government level. It is coming at a time when the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGM, recently approved a unified new MTSS template for the preparation of 2026-2028 MTF document. The local government meeting process tier of government to the people must be equipped to deliver efficiently on its responsibilities. Therefore, sound planning anchored on realistic projections and strategic priorities is key to achieving this.
The workshop is designed not only to build your capacity for effective MTF preparation, but also to provide an interactive platform to clarify technical gray areas, harmonize planning assumptions, and encourage collaborative engagements between local and state level institutions.
In their goodwill messages, the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. Femi Ajayi, and the Chairman, Ekiti State Fiscal Responsibility Commission, Mr. Alfred Ologuntoye, as well as the Algon Chairman, Ojo Oluwasegun, emphasized the importance of MTF, charging the participants to give it necessary attention. The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, has advocated a single term of 5 or 6 years for elected political office holders across levels of government in Nigeria against the current double term of 4 years each. He made this known while playing host to Muslim faithful alongside traditional rulers and political office holders at his private residence in Ibadan, the state capital. The governor explained that a single term of 5 or 6 years is enough for any government to focus and serve the people as well, deliver on its mandate. Makinde noted that the proposition had been brought to the attention of the National Assembly and called for a constitutional amendment to effect it. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has affirmed that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is already fixing the foundational structural issues that have disrupted the power sector over the years. Adelabu described the ongoing improvement in power supply across the country as a tip of the iceberg when compared with what is to come in next few years. The minister, in an interview, expressed optimism that in the next few years, the sector will deliver far more improved service, which will see power supply serving every Nigerian household, businesses, institutions, and industries. And the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called for a review of the Tinubu-led administration's policies that had negatively affected the people. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Mr. Debo Ologunagba, in a statement urged the government to reduce the cost of fuel, electricity tariffs, and charges on critical services. The party charged President Tinubu to use his remaining 2 years in office to promote the well-being of Nigerians, as it sought prayers for divine intervention in the affairs of the nation, urging Nigerians to remain patriotic. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has said that his administration is doing everything possible to ensure that the impact of flood disaster is mitigated in the state. Oti, who spoke at a stakeholders meeting organized by the State Emergency Management Agency SEMA in Umuahia, explained that the building of roads, construction of drainages, opening of blocked gutters, and erosion control are some of the measures being deployed to prevent flood disaster in Abia. The governor explained that the dissemination of early warning messages to the people was very important in mitigating the devastating impact of flood incidents in the state. And now to the foreign scene. The U.S. Treasury Department has announced sanctions against more than 30 individuals and companies accused of helping Iran fund its nuclear and missile programs. The new sanctions freezed any U.S.-based assets of the targeted entities and bar U.S. citizens from doing business with them. The measures also complicate the ability of those sanctioned to operate internationally, especially in transactions involving U.S. dollars. A motion procession and tribute as the body of the late Pastor Michael Adebamilayo Obishesun was brought to his hometown, Igbara Odo Ekiti. Members of the community gathered to pay their final respects to the beloved pastor, honoring his life and legacy. Let's now join Ademola Adeleke for the rest of the story.
Family, friends, and well-wishers gathered for the emotional procession around the town, marking the beginning of the final journey of a man whose impact on the community will be deeply missed. The procession, which wound its way through the streets of Igbara Odo, was a testament to the love and respect the community had for Pastor Adebamilayo Obishesun. The deceased was said to have touched countless lives through the ministry and community service. Following the procession was a service of song held at St. Mark's Anglican Church, where friends and family came together to celebrate Pastor Obishesun's life and ministry. The service was filled with tributes, songs, and messages of hope and comfort.
Ìjọba àkùnmọ́ Obishesun àti Igbara Odo la pàdánù ẹni rere tó lọ.
Mama mi, wọ́n jẹ́ ẹnìkan lára àwọn tí àjọ̀dá ìjọ sílẹ̀ nígbà tí a kò ní ìyá ìjọ wa ní St. James.
The presiding clergyman described the late Adebamilayo Obishesun as a man whose legacy should be emulated, urging the children to uphold God and humanity.
The son of late Pastor Obishesun, given to our generation as a gift, and for the faithful services rendered to you by him during his lifetime.
Later in the evening, the Christian Association of Nigeria, Igbara Odo branch, organized a crusade at Pastor Adebamilayo Obishesun's residence. The event drew a large crowd, with many coming to pay their respect and find solace in the message of hope and resurrection. Ademola Adeleke reporting.
In a related development, the community of Igbara Odo Ekiti came together in a powerful display of faith and solidarity as they held a Christian wake in honor of the late Pastor Adebamilayo Obishesun at his residence. The event was a testament to the impact Pastor Obishesun had on the lives of those around him. Ademola Adeleke of our reportorial unit captured the event. The
wake, which drew a large crowd of mourners, featured prayers, songs, and tributes to the late pastor. Family, friends, and members of the community gathered to pay their last respects and find comfort in each other's company. Some of those in attendance eulogized the virtues of the deceased, describing him as impactful during his lifetime.
Pastor Bayo Obisesan is our father, is our beloved father. In fact, he's a grand pillar of Iyandereketa royal family from Erinjesha.
He was a leader par excellence. He achieved greatness. He was born great, and he also had greatness entrusted in him.
Baba Obisesan is somebody that is very kind to us. He don't look down on people.
The event was a reminder of the power of faith and community in times of grief. Tribute poured in from far and wide, with many praising Pastor Obisesan's dedication to his community and his faith.
I think Mommy and Daddy have prepared us for such a time like this. Wọ́n máa ń sọ fún wa, ẹ̀dá Jésù ni, ẹ̀dá Jésù ni, ẹ má ní Jésù màmá mi, ẹ má ní Jésù bàbá mi, ẹ̀yin fúnra yín, ẹ̀dá Jésù ni.
The Christian Week was a fitting tribute to a man who touched countless lives through his service and devotion. Ademola Adeleke reporting.
That's the midday news. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
Kásán ẹ sì káàbọ̀ sórí ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí Kelechi David lóníròyìn. Ìdí tí wọ́n fi ní láti fàyè gba ìṣọ̀kan àti ìfẹ́ láàrin àwọn mùsùlùmí àti títẹ̀lé ìlànà ìfaradà àti ìtẹríba sí Allah ní kókó wáàsí tí wọ́n rán ní àwọn oríkò àdúrà èyí tí ó wáyé nílùú Adó Èkìtì láti ṣayẹyẹ ọdún Eid-el-Kabir tọdún yìí. Oníròyìn wa Adédayọ̀ Adélẹ́yẹ káàkiri láti wo bí ohun gbogbo ṣe lọ ní àwọn yídì níbi tí ó ṣàbẹ̀wò sí tó sì jábọ̀ pé ní yídì tí ó wà ní ọ̀nà ilé gbogbo níṣe tìlú Adó Èkìtì ni àwọn òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ti mẹ́nubà pàtàkì gbígbé ẹ̀ràn sí Allah àti ìfaradà léyìí tí ó sọ pé ṣíṣàmúlò ìfẹ́ ni yóò jẹ́ kí okùn ìdàgbàsókè túbọ̀ máa wáyé láwùjọ tó sì pé àwọn mùsùlùmí òdodo láti tẹ̀lé àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ èyí tí Ànábì Ibrahim tó fi kọ́ àwọn alátìlẹyìn rẹ̀ léyìí tí ó sọ pé èyí yóò jẹ́ kí àwùjọ kó túbọ̀ lè dára sí i àti láti lè jẹ́ kí ìṣọ̀kan kí ó wà láàrin ìlú. Lára àwọn tó bá òyìn sọ̀rọ̀ níbi ètò ọ̀hún ni ó mẹ́nubà wípé títẹ̀lé ìgbọ́ràn àti ìfẹ́ sí ti Allah ni yóò jẹ́ kí àwùjọ kó lè gúnrégé sí i. Bákan náà ni àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ aláàbò wà ní wámúwámú láti rí pé àlàáfíà ìjọba ní gbogbo àkókò tí àdúrà rakat ètò wáyé náà. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti dọ́wọ́ dùnú pẹ̀lú àwọn mùsùlùmí fún ti ọdún Eid-el-Kabir. Gómìnà nínú iṣẹ́ tó rán sí àwọn mùsùlùmí fún ti ọdún Eid-el-Kabir sọ pé àjọyọ̀ náà ló ṣàfihàn ìfaradà àti ìdùnnú léyìí tí wáyé láàrin àwọn mùsùlùmí. Ó wá rọ àwọn mùsùlùmí láti tẹ̀lé àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tí ọdún Eid-el-Kabir tó fi kọ́ni, tó sì pè wọ́n láti má ṣe káàárẹ̀ nínú àtìlẹ́yìn wọn fún ìjọba rẹ̀ àti ìjọba ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu nípa gbígba àdúrà fún wọn. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti pe àwọn oníṣòwò ní ọjà Bísí Ẹrẹ̀kẹsán àti àwọn ọjà yòókù léyìí tí wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láti tẹ̀lé àṣẹ èyí tí wọ́n pa wípé kí wọ́n lọ sí àgíríkì ọlọ́pẹ kó tó di ọjọ́ 23 oṣù yìí tàbí kí wọ́n rí pípọ́n ojú ìjọba. Àṣẹ ọ̀hún ló wáyé látẹnu gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí nígbà ìpàdé kan tó ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn oníṣòwò àti àwọn ẹni ọ̀rọ̀ kan ní ọjà náà. Oníròyìn wa Tọ́mọ Balọ́lá múròyìn wá, ẹ jẹ́ kí a gbọ́ ohun tí gómìnà sọ láti bẹ̀.
ló fi kọjá ìṣòwò mi owó Èkìtì state ló fi kọjá ìgbà tí mo wá dé ìpè kọmíṣánná mo ní kánò tó pẹ̀lú yìí pé kí ló dé tẹ̀ ẹ̀ lọ ọjà yìí ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní pé ẹ̀ lọ nítorí pé wọn parí ẹ̀ kò sí iná kò sómi kò sí warehouse kò sí security kò sọ́nà òjò máa ń ẹ̀rọ ṣe máa ń wà mẹ́ if I'm right mo ní pé tá a bá ṣe gbogbo kí ní ẹ̀ máa lọ ẹ̀lẹ́ máa lọ mo ní kán lọ cost ìdíní ẹ̀ wá after today's meeting tí bàbá dẹ̀ ti pa láṣẹ gbígbé kẹ kúrò báyìí àṣẹ kábíyèsí yẹn a máa enforce ẹ̀ lọ.
ẹ máa lọ bẹ alájẹ ni a bá báyìí níbẹ̀ níbi dáhùn ti kúrò tí alẹ́ rúmọ lọ síbẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn kaba àmọ̀ níbẹ̀ bá ẹ̀wọ̀n ọjà ṣáṣá ti wí àṣẹ ọmọ ìlànà tẹ jájà bẹ́ẹ̀ dágún mẹ́rin ìdájí o ọ̀wọ́ alágún mẹ́ta mẹ́rin tẹ jájà tó yọ̀rá mo gbọ́ pé ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ṣípù dògbò níbi tàdó wa bí kẹtẹ àdó sókàlẹ̀ wà.
Kọmíṣánná fọ́rọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ olóyè Fọlọ́runṣọ́ Ọlábọ̀dé ti sọ pé ètò MTF èyí tó bá múnádóko ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ní èyí tí wọn kò ní fọwọ́ yẹpẹrẹ mú tó sì jẹ́ pé ó pọn dandan. Olóyè Ọlábọ̀dé ló pàrọwà náà níbi ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fún ti ìlànà MTF tọdún 2026-2028 lẹ́yìn tí iléeṣẹ́ fọ́rọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ yìí ṣètò rẹ̀ nílùú Adó Èkìtì lẹ́yìn tí ó wà láti ṣèrànwọ́ ìlànà MTF tí ó ṣèrànwọ́ ètò ìnáwó tó péye láti mójútó àwọn ohun tí àwọn aráàlú ń fẹ́. Kọmíṣánná náà rọ àwọn olùkópa láti ṣàmúlò ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà lójúnà àti lè jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ ìlànà NCOA léyìí tí ó wà láti ṣèrànwọ́ ètò ìṣúná. Ṣáájú ni akọ̀wé àgbà nílé iṣẹ́ náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Babátúndé Ọláoyè ti sọ pé ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà ni ó ṣàfihàn àwọn ọ̀nà míì tíjọba ní láti ṣèrànwọ́ ètò ìfarajì sí ṣíṣe àkóyawọ́ ní ẹ̀ka ti ètò ìnáwó àti láti ṣètò ìṣúná léyìí tí yóò jẹ́ àtẹ́wọ́gbà tí ó sì wà níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àti títí àjọ àgbáyé. nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí rẹ̀ kọmíṣánná fọ́rọ̀ ìṣúná àti ìṣètò ọrọ̀ ajé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Fẹ́mi Ajayi àti alága àjọ tó ń rí sí ètò ìnáwó nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Alfred Ológuntóyè sọ pé tó fi mọ́ alága ẹgbẹ́ AGON ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúwaṣẹ́gun Òjó tẹnumọ́ pàtàkì ìlànà MTEF léyìí tí ó sọ pé àwọn olùkópa ní láti ṣàmúlò àwọn ohun tí wọ́n bá kọ́ wọn níbi ètò náà. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé ti dábàá pé kí wọ́n ṣe àmúlò ìlànà ọdún 5 àti síbí ọdún 6 lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo fún àwọn tí wọ́n bá dìbò yàn nípò òṣèlú nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà dípò lílo ọdún 4 àti sáà 2. Ó fún pè náà nígbà tí ó ń gbàlejò àwọn mùsùlùmí léyìí tí àwọn orí adé bá kọ̀wọ́ rìn wá sí ọ́fíìsì rẹ̀ wá sí ilé rẹ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn olúlu ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Gómìnà sọ pé ṣíṣe ìlànà ọdún 5 àti ọdún 6 lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo fún ẹnikẹ́ni tí wọ́n bá dìbò yàn nípò ìjọba yóò ṣe ìrànwọ́ láti lè jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn ṣe àmúṣẹ ìlérí wọn nínú ètò ìjọba. Ó jẹ́ àkókò ti ìdárò àti sísọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí ní bí wọ́n ti gbé ara olóògbé pásítọ̀ Michael Adébámiláyọ̀ Òbísẹ̀san wá sílùú abínibí rẹ̀ Ìgbàrà Odò Èkìtì. Àwọn ọmọ ìlú náà ló péjọ láti ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ìkẹyìn fún pásítọ̀ ọ̀hún níbi wọ́n ti mẹ́nuba àwọn ìwà rere rẹ̀ àti àwọn iṣẹ́ rere tó ti gbé ṣe. Oníròyìn wa Adémọ́lá Adélékè jábọ̀ ròyìn pé àwọn ọmọ ìlú náà ló sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí lóríṣiríṣi nípa ti olóògbé náà léyìí tí wọ́n sọ pé ó ti kópa nínú àwọn ètò ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlọsíwájú ìlú náà tó fi mọ́ rí dájú pé àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ìlú ọ̀hún ni wọ́n ń ṣe dáadáa nínú àwọn tí wọ́n yàn láàyò yàtọ̀ sí pé ó jẹ́ ẹni tí ó ti nípa nínú ètò ìdásílẹ̀ ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì léyìí tí wọ́n sọ pé ó jẹ́ àgbà ìlú àti olólùfẹ́ ìlọsíwájú. Bákan náà ìlú Ìgbàrà Odò Èkìtì ni ó jẹ́ pé àwọn aṣáájú ìlú àti àwọn alátìlẹyìn ti péjọ nínú ẹ̀sìn Kristi láti ṣe àwòsùn ti onígbàgbọ́ fún olóògbé pásítọ̀ Adébámiláyọ̀ Òbísẹ̀san nílé rẹ̀. Ètò náà ló jẹ́ ẹ̀rí máa jẹ́ nìṣó láti sọ nípa ipa tí pásítọ̀ Òbísẹ̀san ti ní nínú ayé àwọn aráàlú. Oníròyìn wa Adémọ́lá Adélékè jábọ̀ ìròyìn pé níbi ètò náà ni àwọn ìkànnì ti péjọ láti ṣe ẹ̀yẹ kẹyìn fún olóògbé náà léyìí tí wọ́n sọ pé ìwà rẹ̀ ló jẹ́ àwòkọ́ṣe rere. Lára àwọn olóògbé ọ̀hún ni wọ́n sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí nípa bàbá wọn níbi àwọn aráàlú náà ti mẹ́nuba àwọn iṣẹ́ ribiribi tí olóògbé Adébámiláyọ̀ Òbísẹ̀san ti ní nínú ìlú náà. Èyí ló pin ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní aago 7 nígbà tí a máa mú ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ wá sójú ìwòran yín. Ẹ káàsán.